What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you my 4-month or long-term review of the iPhone 13 Pro. This has been my daily driver cell phone for the past 4 months. I bought it on October 2021, so we're getting into February now. So I got a good idea who this phone may be for, may not be for. Previously I owned the Pixel 5, and before that I owned the iPhone 12 non-Pro version, so I have a little bit of background on different models and just kind of a little comparison on who this may work for, who may not work for. So this is a $1,000 phone, so $999. I did not get it when they were having a bunch of their promos where they had it on sale fairly often, so I did have to pay the full price for it. I don't believe in financing phones through carriers, so I paid cash for it. I did also purchase Apple Care for this, mainly because I don't like using a phone case, and they are very expensive to repair. So the back glass, the front glass, everything's kind of expensive to repair, mainly because it's made of all glass. So I got Apple Care basically as my case for the next 2 years. So I'll kind of go through the build, performance, and just my overall thoughts of the system and whole. So the build quality is still excellent. I haven't had any issues with it. It's very fast, very responsive, almost never gets warm. The screen does get scratched fairly easily, so I've noticed that. I'll see if I can get it to focus on that. You probably won't be able to see it in the photo, but the screen does scratch, I think, fairly easier than previous non-sapphire screens. So this is supposed to be a little more difficult to break, but it is, I think, a little bit more scratch prone. So if you're very weary of scratches, I would put a case on it and have that be it. But the build quality is really good, top notch. The side bezels don't have a lot of, probably won't focus on that. They're pretty clean, not a lot of markings or anything on them. So overall, the build quality, the back has no marks on it. The camera bumps, which are fairly large, also have no bumps, no visible marks on them that I can see, at least. There's no issues with photo quality or anything like that. I have dropped it a few times on accident, and it's held up fairly well, so I think it would be a pretty robust phone for just about anybody out there. If you have a case on it, it would probably be pretty hard to go ahead and break it. So when it comes to overall, well, let's get to the camera. The camera, it's an iPhone, modern iPhone camera. It's nothing compared to a full-frame DSLR or a mirrorless camera, but very good photo and video. Probably better video than photo. I think the video is really good on this. The photo quality is really good, especially in good lighting. I don't think it's as good as the Pixel 5 when lighting gets poor, but in good lighting, it's up there with the Pixel 5, even the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. It's when the lighting isn't very good. I don't know how good the telephoto is. I never use it. Honestly, I don't use this very much for a camera. I have a full-frame mirrorless camera that's not super large, and I use that most of the time. But the photo quality, if you're coming from like an iPhone 10, 11, 8, you will notice a huge jump in performance. If you have a Pixel, 3, 4, 5, you're not going to notice much difference. It is a little better, but it's very marginal if you ask me. So when it comes to performance, this thing is fast. Like, it has no hiccups. Apps open smoothly. It has 120 hertz refresh screen, so it does feel very snappy, very responsive, and it really spoils you because it's difficult to go back to a screen that's 60 hertz. Even on my monitor, I very rarely use my computer monitor anymore, just because my laptop and my phone now has 120 hertz variable refresh rate screens. So I find that I very rarely just like dealing with going back to that. So the screen performance is great. The overall, yeah, I think it's the A15 chip in here is super fast. It's way faster than my Pixel 5. Maybe not way faster, but it is a noticeable jump up in performance. Battery life is good. I would say very good. They put a little bit bigger batteries in this than the iPhone 12, so I can get a day easy out of it. If you're on Wi-Fi, I usually have like 50% left at the end of the day. That's going from 4:30 a.m. to about 8 p.m. and I still have about 50% left, mainly because I'm on Wi-Fi even at work, and I'm not a heavy user. I don't do a lot of gaming. Actually, I do no gaming. It's mainly YouTube TV, YouTube, some general browsing, email, Outlook, Gmail, things like that. I use the weather a lot, and that's really it. Battery life is very, very good on these. If you get the max, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 days of battery life if you get the bigger phone. So that's good. I know I talked about the design of it a little bit, or the kind of build quality, but the design I really like. These phones really look premium, especially when you hold them up against like a Pixel 5 or a Pixel 6 Pro, which I have seen at Best Buy before. I think they just look way more sleek, premium. They just have a nice, good overall look to them. I like the blue color. It kind of looks a little bit silver in different lighting, but they have different color options for you there. Face ID works great. The new iOS 15.4, I think, you can actually unlock it with a mask now, with the beta they have for that. So that's a nice feature because I don't have an Apple Watch anymore, which I will probably get one of those in the future, but that's another great feature for that. So when it comes to actual OS, I like Android and iOS about the same. I do think the iOS ecosystem is miles above the Android, especially if you have a MacBook or an iPad or anything like that. Having your messages sync across everything is just really smooth and really gives you the benefit of not having to carry your phone around 24/7. And I think the apps are significantly improved on iOS versus Android. I find that most of my apps work a little bit better, a little bit faster. The updates seem to be not necessarily more frequent, but they seem to be more synchronized and kind of help out with the performance of the app overall. I also like Overcast, which is a podcast app, which is only on the iPhone, which may not seem like a big deal. There's Pocket Casts and Google Podcasts, all kinds of things out there, but I really, really like Overcast, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, so that's another reason why I've stuck with this phone. So that's a lot of the positives: the ecosystem, build quality, battery life. One of the best screens out there, 120 hertz refresh rate screens. You can get Apple Care and basically break it, and Apple will fix it for you for a fee. But you don't really have that on the Android side of things, because with the Pixel phones and with Samsung phones, they outsource all that stuff where you have to send it to a third party. The only negative I can find in this is you're still stuck with Lightning connector. You still have a Lightning connector. There's no USB-C, which kind of stinks considering even their iPads have USB-C now, and their laptops previously charged with USB-C. The other negative is the $1,000 price point. I don't feel like this is a $1,000 phone. It feels more $799 to me, $849. This is a 64 gigabyte version. I very rarely use more than 40 gigabytes, so getting anything above that wasn't something I needed. But it feels more like an $849 phone. I don't know if they have them discounted anymore, or the carrier discounts or Best Buy discounts. But try to find that if you can, if you're looking to buy this, especially when the new 14s come out, probably towards fall. Overall, really happy with it. Oh, it's a solid phone. I love having Apple Care, and I love the ecosystem, just everything being tied together, syncing seamlessly across all your devices. That's it. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. I'll try to get a more year-long review of this up as I go. Have a good rest of the day, weekend, whatever's out there, and I'll see you guys next time.